Hey, welcome to another episode of On the Rodens. This week we're in our favorite place so far, which is Redwoods National and State Parks in Northern California. Alright, so today, after 2 or 3 days of driving through pretty much the bottom of California up to the top of California, we are in Redwoods National Park and State Park. So today we're going to be checking those out. Before, I got to say a couple things about California. 3 things specifically that I have not been happy with. One, in the whole state, you can only drive 55 if you are towing a trailer, which obviously we are. So that's been just taking us forever to get from top to bottom. 2, your roads are absolutely terrible. I mean, potholes everywhere. It broke the lock on my trailer hitch. The roads were so rough and so bumpy. It's just been absolutely brutal. And the third thing is gas prices here have been ridiculous. We left Alabama, they were already climbing. They were $2.30, $2.40, which I wasn't happy about. But here they've been closer to $4. Most of the time I've been paying between $3.58 and $3.98 for gas. And that's just been, I mean, that's a budget killer right there. So I've not been too happy with California. Ready to get out of here, ready to get into Oregon. But today's really our last day in California. We're going to be in Redwoods National and State Parks, and we're looking forward to seeing the world's tallest trees. One of the coolest things about these redwood trees is it comes from a little tiny pine cone this size. This is about the size of an olive, and these massive 200-foot trees come from just this tiny little pine cone. I'm reminded of people of the faith that are like that as well. They have maybe just a little bit of faith at the beginning, like Moses, who told God he couldn't even speak well, so he couldn't do these things. But God ended up using him in a mighty way. It's that way with our faith. It might start out something really small, the size of maybe something like an olive, but it can turn into something mighty and powerful like these massive redwood trees. What I like about the redwoods, especially this forest, is kind of like misty and overcast, and it's kind of got like this like mystical fairy tale kind of feel to it, with all the ferns and all the water, and just the way the light's coming through the trees and the mist. It's really cool. I can see why people have written about this and this area, and why people do movies here and all that kind of stuff, because it's really just like a mystical, really just a cool place to be. It kind of has like an otherworldly kind of feel to it.
It's super cold too.
Oh yeah, it's really cold. It's like 48 degrees, and we're here in late May, so it's way different than the climate we're used to. Callie, do you see the trees? You say trees?
Point to the trees.
Point to the trees. Say trees. Say big trees.
Did you see a pine cone?
Tried to eat the pine cone?
Say yes, sir.
Yeah, we tried to eat the pine cone. Sydney, what do you think about the trees?
They're big.
They're big. That's all you think?
Yeah, I thought they were going to be bigger around than they are, but supposedly that's at the sequoias and not here. They're really, really tall though. It's kind of cool.
Callie, you like them?
It's very misty out here.
So where are the Ewoks at?
There's Jeremy.
Do you see the Ewoks anywhere? Okay, my wife doesn't know what an Ewok is. This is really sad. I failed as a husband.
So my favorite thing out here so far is this. Look, the trees with the holes in them. And look at this. This is literally the coolest thing ever. If I don't fall. I could live here. It'd be like a kitchen, like a bathroom, and a bedroom. It's like a house in here.
And one of the things that's really cool about these trees, whether it was fire or some kind of insect that's kind of hollowed these things out, is that they're still alive. This tree is still growing, it's got leaves up on it, so it's really neat. Even though that it's had all that devastation to it, it's still growing. The second place that we went to was Jedediah Smith State Park, which is probably 45 minutes north of the Lady Bird Johnson Grove that we went to early in the morning. The day kind of cleared up, the skies became blue again, the sun came out, but those are separated about 45 minutes because about 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago, there was a lot of logging that went on in that area. So a lot of the redwoods are gone. There's only a small portion left, and these two groves are separated by about 45 miles. But the ones in the Jedediah Smith State Park are actually a little bit taller, and they were just absolutely incredible. All right, so we are now on what is probably one of the coolest roads I've ever been on in my life. Now, it's not a whole lot better than a pig trail coming out through here. It's bumpy as mess, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It's Howland Hill Road in Jedediah Smith Redwoods State Park, and it's absolutely phenomenal. You're driving through old growth redwoods that are just enormous. Due to this floodplain, some of these are 300 foot tall or taller, so they're some of the tallest ones, and it's just a really cool drive. Stout Grove. Stout Grove is kind of a walk like the one that I showed you earlier. Hey, you don't need that brownie. Hey, hang on, we're trying to record here. Stout Grove is a really just like a big grove of these redwoods, like a kind of concentrated version of it. So we're gonna walk around there and check them out, put Callie back in her backpack, and go for a hike. Callie, can you say hike? Can you say hike?
Hike.
Yeah, hike. It'll be fun. Where we stayed this week was right on the water. We were on the Klamath River in Northern California that dumps right out in the Pacific. And there was just some incredible wildlife that was near us. Just within a couple minutes drive, there were all these elk. There were a couple bulls that we saw there that were meandering around. They were probably half a mile from all the females, but they were really cool to check out. They just kind of sat there. We really weren't 10 or 15 feet from them, and they were just hanging out there. And then about half a mile down the road, there was a whole herd of the females. There was probably 50 to 60 elk out there. Also right near our campsite was a whole bunch of seals. So when the river dumps out into the Pacific Ocean, there was just a ton of seals, probably 60, 70 seals just laying out there, being little blobs out there. They always remind me of Wall-E whenever the people are just kind of scooting around like blobs in that spaceship. That's kind of the way those seals are, just kind of blobbing around there on the beach. A couple other things near us was a beautiful lighthouse, this really cool cross on top of a hillside, and also just a wonderful sunset overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
Overall, this week in Redwoods has just been amazing. It's definitely been our favorite place that we've been to so far. Just walking through the redwoods and standing next to the trees, it's just so surreal. It's just phenomenal seeing how large these trees are. Our next video, Callie, get back up here, come this way. Our next video, we're going to be on the Oregon coast and in Bend and in Eugene. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that so you'll get an update on when our next video comes out.